Welcome to Anchor Points. I'm glad that you tuned in. Should we wish harm on others? We're looking at the Bible versions again, and that's the question for today. Should we wish harm on others? You know, every believer I know understands that God does not want us to wish harm on people, nor should we desire to see people hurt themselves. By hurt, I mean physically cut themselves. By hurt, I also mean to emotionally belittle themselves or to demean themselves. But what do we find coming from the wrong family of biblical manuscripts in the Hebrew and Greek? What do we find coming from those manuscripts that God's people refused to use until about the 1900s and really didn't get popular or accepted until about 1950? What do we find in these modern versions that come from this wrong manuscript? Well, it would appear that in the modern versions, we're being taught to wish people to hurt themselves. Let's take a look at the 5 top selling Bibles in America. And again, we're using a list that I found on churchanswers.com. Let me also be quick to say, I'm using just version question mark on the pop-ups you'll see because I want you to check your own translation. I also use the Oxford Dictionary that you'll see in just a little bit to define a couple of words of concern as we are reading them. Should we wish harm on others? Listen to this #1 top-selling version in America. As for those agitators, I wish they would go the whole way and emasculate themselves. Wow. Emasculate. This is in Galatians 5:12. Emasculate means to desex. It means to spay or neuter. Oxford Dictionary. Is that what you wish? Is that what Jesus teaches? Should we wish that people that agitate us go and cut themselves and do self-mutilation? Well, according to this version, yes. But is that from the right manuscripts? Is it translated right? Let's look at some others. Here's another one. I just wish those troublemakers who want to mutilate you by circumcision would mutilate themselves. Oxford Dictionary says the word mutilate means to disfigure, dismember, or lacerate. Make deep cuts. Oxford Dictionary. Here's another one. I wish those who unsettle you would emasculate themselves. Again, that means to desex. Here's another one. So then what about troublemakers who try to get others to be circumcised? I wish they would go the whole way. I wish they would cut off everything that marks them as men. Wow. Bodily dismemberment is what that's teaching. And then number 5, as you'll see it on your screen, in the top 10 popular Bibles, one of them the Spanish one selling here in America, says the same thing, to mutilate ourselves. When this verse is rightly translated, when Galatians 5:12 comes from the right family of manuscripts and translated the right way, here's what it says. I would they were even cut off, which trouble you. The accurate translation does not say a body part should be cut off or even cut. Rather, it addresses a group of people. Notice it uses the word they, a group of people who are members of that church. The emphasis is not on self-harm, self-cutting, or anything of the sort. Galatians 5:12 is saying those people that are sowing discord, they need to be removed, separated from church membership. You know, in America, I've heard it said this way. If you and your friends are not happy with the church you attend, go visit other churches till you find one you can be content with, or start your own. You know, it's not good to make yourself miserable and everybody else with you. And that's what it's saying in Galatians 5:12. The right translation from the right manuscript says this. I would they were even cut off. Not a body part, but it's talking about a group of people. Here's some questions for you. Does your translation teach that Paul wanted people to hurt themselves? Well, we just saw 5 of the top selling Bibles in America that did. Does your translation teach that it's good to wish harm on others, like the 5 we just saw? Can you call a translation good when it encourages self-harm and encourages the man of God to wish harm on others that cause trouble for him? You need to use a Bible translation that comes from the right manuscripts, translated the right way, and then you won't have these ungodly renderings. Make sure you click subscribe below. so that you know every time we post a new video. God wants you to know His truth, and God will bless each person who seeks His truth. And don't get discouraged. You can find an accurate translation 100% in your language